I love your
Hey,
laugh.
what's up, everybody? We are live. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. It's your girl, Kelly Charles Collins, also known as the Speaker Mogul. And I am here today with the Nicole F. Smith. She is the creator of the EQ Impact. And the reason, y'all, that we are on here today is because if unless you've been like, under a rock somewhere, that I'm hosting the Speaking Industry Expo, also known as the March 16th through the 18th in Atlanta. And one of the segments of the six is our IQONIK Talks speaker showcase. And the Nicole F. Smith is one of the six amazing women who is going to grace the stage, grace the IQONIK Talks stage. So I wanted you to meet her. I wanted you to meet her, hear from her, and just talk about like why she wanted to, get on that stage, why she wants to be in the room, why you should be in the room. And so, yeah, let's chime on in. Let's come on in, tell a friend to tell a friend, and come on in. We're gonna have the comments. So if you have comments, you're joining us live anywhere, just let us know. And Nicole, tell the people, who are you?
Hello, Kelly Charles Collins Esquire. Hello,
Yes.
I am Nicole F. Smith. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for having me. I have to say, with this journey that you've been on, and really showcasing dynamic women speakers, Black women speakers, I'm so glad you have had taken me along for the ride. So I appreciate
Oh,
you in that. Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I'm enjoying the ride because this is fun. Just also to just learning from you. I mean, if like you said, if you are under a rock, you probably yeah, but you are not under a rock. I know everyone has seen Kelly's post on LinkedIn and just all the brilliance that shines on social media. But then when you get to talk to her in person, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I just wanted to give you your flowers now,
oh,
right?
thank you.
Your flowers. But yeah, so I'm Nicole F. Smith. I'm creator of EQ Impact. I'm also too CEO of JMS Creative Leadership Solutions, where we are helping leaders understand their leadership intent so they can understand the team impact. So basically that's helping you understand the impact of your behavior so you can build trust and relationships and drive those results in the workplace. And I am going to be in Atlanta in March 16th through the 18th at the 6 IQONIK Talks. And I'm excited. I'm going to be on that stage, and I want everyone to be there as well. This is where I say in 2026, Kelly, there's no excuses.
Yeah.
There's no excuses.
Yeah.
2025, I want to say 2024 and 2025 was a weird 2 years because of just a whole lot of stuff going on. But 2026, and I'm an Aries too, so it's my year. They said
The
it's
year
my
of the
year.
horse.
I know, right? I'm fire, so they say it's my year. But no, 2026 is the year where there's no excuses. If you want to do something, you just need to go ahead and go for it. So that's what I'm doing on your stage. I'm going for it.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I am really excited. And one of the things, I love you, but one of the things that I love is the way that you talk about emotional intelligence. And you've moved from what everybody just sees and copies and mimics, and you've really developed your own frameworks, your own workbooks, your own way of really bringing it to the people. And one of the things that I love too is that it's very much it's very much down to earth, right?
Right.
So I know that with emotional intelligence, they got the 4 boxes and they got all the things, but you really work with people, work with leaders, and work with individuals around EQ,
right,
in a way that we can see in our daily lives. Right. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about you, sharing that on the IQONIK Talks stage. And before we even talk just a little bit more about that, and yes, we've known each other, and it's really interesting to talk about this too. So I'm gonna take y'all back because this has to do with, it's almost like that post. I did a post the other day about collaborative sourcing, which I call it, right? How we work together. And this is how Nicole and I met. we met through collaboration. We
Mhm.
met through our mentor and who we had strategic partnerships with in terms of our own individual businesses, but a strategic partnership with our mentor, Dr. Shirley Davis.
Mhm.
And we had our own businesses. Dr. Shirley had her own business. And we all have our expertise, but we were able to come together and work together to support each other's different clients. And so when we think about the six, this is like the epitome of what
Yes.
I'm trying to pull
Exactly.
together in
Right.
terms of the six and really shift our mindsets
Mhm.
around how we work together, how we come together, even if we are doing the same thing.
Right.
And so it just struck me as I was saying, let's
Yeah.
go back,
Yeah.
that we met in this whole type of
Mhm.
strategic partnership. And now look at what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I just thought you were dope. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit close to her. And yes. And so we met, and that's the whole epitome. That's relationships, right? Where you nurture relationships. And we're both busy. We don't talk every day, but we'll drop a text saying, what's up? How
Ma'am.
you doing? And I know, like, ma'am.
Ma'am.
We just ma'am. But yes, and so, but just nurturing those relationships. And like you said, we're not competing against each other. So if I see an opportunity for you, I'm passing it along to you, saying, hey, this is more Kelly's lane, and vice versa. There's enough sunshine out there for all of us to shine. And I feel like, Kelly, if you win, I'm gonna win.
That's right.
And if I win, you're gonna win, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring you along. And so this is where I encourage people to please just nurture those relationships, because you never know where it's gonna take you. And listen, I'm with Kelly because she's gonna take us places.
And
Kelly's gonna take us places.
it's so funny because like we knew each other, right?
Uh-huh.
Because from Dr. Shirley, we had seen each
Mhm.
other on video. We would do our video calls, we would do all that stuff. I mean, during the
Yes.
pandemic, I mean, we were so busy, we didn't know what to
Yeah.
do with ourselves.
Mhm.
But it was not until we came together in person
Yeah.
that we really just had this connection, like just
Right.
all of it, right? And so, the six is an in-person event.
Yes.
And so, yes, you're gonna have to get up out your house. You might have to get on a
Yes.
plane, or you might have to get in your car and drive to come to it. But talk about, Nicole, the power of in-person connection, because we got to
Mm.
spend time together again
Mhm.
because of Dr. Shirley,
Mhm.
um, and just be in each other's presence. And it was like, now you're stuck. Like,
Now we're stuck.
sorry.
Now we're stuck. Yeah, and
Now
and
we're
you know
stuck.
me, I vibe off energy. If that energy is there, I'm gonna keep going. Being in person, like I said, it's that energy. Because during COVID, we did all the virtual stuff, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like at times you had to work harder at virtual events because you had to keep them engaged. You had to do the body movements, the hands, and everything in the camera. But when you are in person,
Mhm.
I thrive off of other people's energy. And so as I'm speaking on stage, I don't want to sit here and say I'm that normal keynote where it feels like just a bobblehead. I'm
Mhm.
that engaging keynote. I'm going to ask you questions. I want to see head nods. I want you to get up. I want you to clap. Give me an amen, yes, sister, whatever it is. Because the more I vibe off of you, the more you're going to vibe off of me as well. But Kelly, especially bringing everyone together and having those decision makers in the room, having the people that can sign those contracts, having those people that can recommend you for other places, people that say, you
Mhm.
know what, I saw Nicole Smith the other day in Atlanta, maybe not for my event, but Susie,
Mhm.
for your event, she would be
Right.
amazing. Having that type of feel, and just learning from each other as well, because there's going to be other dynamic women on the stage, and learning from them, seeing their style and how they show up. Oh gosh, I'm going to be taking notes. This is where I say, yes, I'm going to come and I'm going to showcase my talent, but I'm also too going to learn from other people's talent. And I think that's the biggest thing. And then afterwards, staying in that community, staying in that supportive community, knowing that I can just send a text,
Yeah.
support each other on social media, and know that you're there for me as I am for you. That community is everything. So just
Yeah.
being, but also too, just what is it? It's interesting when you see people in person, you can hear their voice and their body language. So now when you're reading their messages or their emails or their newsletters and texts, you literally hear them talking to you because you have spoken with them already, and that makes a world of difference to you. You hear the tone and their sincereness and so forth. So I just love being in person.
And then you see that some people are pint sized.
Yeah. Because Zoom, it makes you look. Listen, people tell me when they see me, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were so tall." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm 5'8", but when we're sitting on Zoom, you just kind of don't.
I know, because
don't
people
know.
see me, and then when they meet me, I'm 5 feet tall, so they're like,
"Come here." I'm like, "Come in here, let me hug you, kid. Just lay right here." But good things come in small packages, right?
That's right. That's right. But I'm so and so that's so exciting to me because we get to spend, whether you do the mogul experience, which is 3 days, which you only have a couple more tickets left,
Yes,
or you do the momentum builders, which is 2 days, just being in proximity.
Yes,
right? Being in proximity. And I think it's so important for us to understand that, because when what we are lacking as Black women,
tell it,
often
Kelly.
what we are
Tell it.
lacking in addition to regular funding, right? Capital, we are lacking social capital.
Yes.
When you look around, like, who can you call? Who can you say, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what I tried. This is what has worked. This is what's not working. Hey, sis, like, I'm just not in a good space right now. Who do we look to for those things? Who are we looking to share stages with, right? Share our events with, do master classes with.
Yes.
This is something that we have not, as Black women, been good about. If we look out there in the world, other people do it.
Yes.
If we look out there in the world, we see that other people do it, and we may be one of the people on there. There won't be too many of us. There'll be one of us, if any of us. But we don't create these spaces. And so, Nicole, like, this has been my mission. Like,
yes.
Please.
You have been in the lab. You have created. Listen, if you're listening to the sound of our voices, Kelly has created tools and supplemental material for you to be great. All you have to do is get your ticket, sign up, and come, and you will have access to her brain. You will have access to her tools. And she is very intentional. You are very intentional with how you move. So I know when Kelly launches something, you're going for it. She is in 10 toes down, as they say.
Yeah, I am 10 toes down.
Because you are providing us what we didn't have, as I say, growing up in the corporate space, growing up in that space, you are providing us what we didn't have. And it's hard to get our hands on. But I'm sitting here saying, just get your ticket. Just get your ticket. Come to Atlanta, and you will have access to thought leaders. You will have access to decision makers. You will have access to tools that will be able to make your speaking your business. Because it's not, like you said, Kelly, you always say it's not a hobby. Me speaking on stage is not a hobby. Me speaking on stage is 6-7 years of formal education, years of certifications, years of studying. I'm not going to tell you how many books I have. I'm learning this so I can then crystallize it for you on stage. So then you can go home or go to your office and be great immediately in real time. And that's the difference with my framework is the strategies I give you are in real time. And that's what IQONIK Talks is going to do. The 6 is going to do it. Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. And the way that the whole event is set up, it's set up so that we have the ability to showcase ourselves in so many different ways, right? So we have the expo hall, and our presenting sponsor, Go High Level. Thank you, Go High Level, for
Go High Level
at the very beginning.
Yes,
they're going to be there, and they're going to be doing training. So they'll be in the expo hall, but they're also going to do a training on systems. So everything that I do, basically behind the scenes in my business, it runs through Go High Level, and they're giving everyone a 30-day free trial, but they'll be there in person. Verizon Business is another one of our sponsors, and Verizon has sponsored Precious Williams, the killer pitch master. If y'all know Precious, you need to be
Yes.
in the room with Precious.
You need to know
And
Precious.
right? And Precious is going to do Fix My Pitch
Mhm.
live. So you get to fix your pitch live with Precious. Some people get to do that. Obviously, I'll be there teaching you all about positioning, packaging, and pricing, and using our AI tools to be able to do that. You're going to have 6 amazing women, including Nicole, on the IQONIK Talk stage. And so one of the things too is to be able to see how other women show up. How do they present? How, what are they doing? And not only do you get to see them on stage, the IQONIK Talk speakers on stage, you'll get to see them in the expo hall. So they will have booths and tables in the expo hall. So you get to see how are they marketing their businesses? How are they showing up? You get to have conversations with them about, hey, what are you doing? Or I see this. They're going to have their books there. Everybody will have their books and all those things. So you'll get to see that. In the incubator, so we have our expo hall, then we have our business incubator. The business incubator is really important because it's not going to be just come and take notes and leave. No, I need you to bring your laptop. You must bring your laptop or your iPad or however, because we're actually going to do work. So you'll get trained, but then what will you learn, you're then going to implement so that you leave with actual assets for your business that you can implement while you're there, and you can continue to implement going forward. And go ahead.
No, I was saying that's the difference. That's the difference than some of these other conferences I've been to and some of these other training events. They give you stuff and you just kind of sit it on a shelf until you need it. If you ever need it, if you're ever going to use it, you may even forget about it. And I think that's the difference between the 6 and other conferences. It's in real time. And I just attended another training last week where real time, like literally implemented as soon as I got off the call. And I love that type of energy because I'm not going to sit here and spend money for a conference and just sit things on the shelf and or what I say, I just feel motivated.
Inspired. Yeah, no.
I feel inspired. And I'm like, listen, I want you to feel inspired. How activate. We teach you how to execute, implement and execute, not just feel inspired to do something one day. No, it's activate, execute, implement day one.
And in real time, where you can actually ask questions of the people who are teaching you the things, right? Because we get all these notes, we leave, and then it's like, oh, I wish I could have asked them this. No, we're going to implement right then. So I'll be there. Everyone else will be there. All of our other trainers will be there, and you'll be able to ask questions in real time. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to have collabosourcing time. So for those of you who don't know, I coined the term collabosourcing, and it means to leverage your expertise, your resources, and your relationships to build your business, your brand, and your badassery. And it's my way. It is my way of networking because I hate networking. I absolutely loathe, despise regular networking. Me too. But back to the point about us not having social capital. And if you're like me, a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm an ambivert. And so I can be extroverted here on the stage when I'm out and about. If you tell me to come to a cocktail hour or a networking event and walk up in there and talk to some people, I'm looking for the exit. I have zero desire to be in there. I hate those spaces. I am not good in those spaces. And so when we go to these conferences and people, people always tell you, Nicole, like, go there and meet 5 people. Make sure that you meet 5 people.
And get their business cards and
Yep. Now, with me, I will meet one person and it'll be the one person who nobody else wants to talk to, who like captures me. And then I'm like, okay, that's it. Right. And so I want to make sure that we don't do that. I want to make sure that we create the space, that it is intentional and part of the agenda that we collabosource. So we're going to have collabosourcing time so that it is very intentional around who we're talking to, who we're getting to meet, so that you don't have to go find somebody at the bar, right, at night. You can, because we're going to be hanging out, right? And we're going to have a party too. We're going to have a pink party. I'll talk about that in a second. But so that we can use our EQ, right? And be able to actually work to find the people that make sense for us to partner together, right? So we'll have that.
Right.
You dropped that we're gonna have our decision makers panel. So that's not all fully put together
You're in
yet,
the
but we're
lab.
gonna
You're
have
in the
one.
lab still.
We're
You're
in the
lab,
lab
Bob.
around
You're in
that.
the lab.
So, but we are going to have a decision makers panel. So you're gonna get like real talk behind the scenes. What are they looking for? How do you need to show up? If for nothing else, baby, show up for that. Like, if for nothing else, be in the room
That
for that.
part.
Because
Yeah.
what'd you say, Nicole?
I said that part because going back to what you said about the networking, it's I had to remove myself from some of that networking because it was the same people, the same small business owners. I want to support you. However, very honestly, those small business owners were not going to sign my contracts. They were not going to bring me in. So it was just like a social cocktail hour. And I'm just like, what is this for? And so I made a point last year to say, okay, if I'm going to go into these networking spaces, it needs to be relationships that will be of value to me.
Yep.
Next week, like immediately. I'm all about this real time, immediately. And that could, maybe they don't have to sign my contract, but they can get me into the room of the person who does.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to be very intentional when you're running your business. It's great. Listen, I'm in Charlotte. They have all these cute little networking. Yes, they do. And a lot of them, they put it on, it's for picture purposes. You see them on social media, they're, cocktails and so forth. And I see the same people over and over again. And so that's why I had to pull back to be little more intentional with that networking. And so if you are out there networking, the 6 will be the place to do it, to come out and be very intentional. But if you are networking, be very intentional about who you are meeting and why you're going.
Yeah.
And so I just want to add that because I'm like you. I'm like you. I kind of slide. A lot of people think I am that extrovert, and I'm comfortable in social spaces. Yes, but I can spend all weekend and all week and not see another soul and be okay with it because I need to recharge that way. So I'm glad you stated that because we can have a whole nother podcast on or another live on labels. But go ahead.
I am like, let me be in my house, me and me.
In my soft clothes. And
I in my house. So that's something that I wanted to be very intentional about, to make sure that we have those spaces, because there will be introverts in the room, right? Not just ambiverts and there will be introverts who, the thought of saying to you, go out in the hallway and go figure out who you need to talk to is
scary.
We're not doing that,
it's
right?
Scary.
But so we're gonna make it happen for you. We're also going to have our pink party. So that'll be exciting. So we'll have our DJ and our pink party. Yay. And then what else are we going to have? I think that was it. I was talking about the decision makers panel, but just to be in the space together. And if you are a part of the mogul experience, then you'll have mastermind sessions with me before the event, at the event, and after the event.
And y'all need to come just as, like I said, to get into Kelly's brain and how she thinks in regards to one of the things that you said to me, Kelly, or said to us, there were another group of ladies, was when I was in the corporate space, I was making high 6 figures, managing $1 million budgets, managing people and so forth. They would come to me, make decisions and sign my name on the piece of paper that could go left if it could. And then when I get out into the entrepreneurial world, it's like it comes to a screeching halt. Now all of a sudden you don't trust me because I'm not like on your payroll. And that just baffled me. But that has resonated in my head in regards to, what I bring to the table, my pricing, the talent, the expertise that I bring. I keep hearing you say, if they're going to pay you that much, they gonna pay you over here that much too. You just have to have the mindset, right? And the courage to just go for it. And so this is where I'm telling you, you say, come for the decision maker panel, but also to come
for the content and
come for Kelly's brain, to sit down and talk to her for 30 minutes. Yes, I have to resist. Like I call her just to say how she's doing. I got to resist not to ask her any business questions because she's just that smart. You were just that smart, Kelly. So just come for the whole conference, but definitely go to the decision panel and the mastermind.
Yeah. Because the idea is that so my expertise is in positioning, packaging, and pricing. Because to your point, the women who are in the room are highly educated. Y'all are highly educated, highly credentialed, right? You've run teams, VPs, CMOs, HR, PhDs, like lawyers. We have no lack of letters, right? We have no lack of letters after our names, right? And all the different certifications. But we come from the corporate space, we come into entrepreneurship, and it's all of a sudden we just forget who we are. Like we just all of a sudden we don't have all these things. Right. And so for me, what I have watched over the time as I've been working with women experts and I've, shifted around some of the stuff that I do, is what I saw was, okay, everyone's telling you go sell this to corporate, go sell this to corporate. You can't sell what you're not clear about. You can't sell what you don't understand. Right.
Absolutely.
And so this is why what I know is that so many of us, especially Black and brown women experts, are in this field, and we were making six figures. We were VPs, we were CMOs, we lawyers, but yet you're in this environment and you're like, oh, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for exposure. Oh, I'll charge. Oh, it's only $100. You would never have done that in the corporate space. And so what I realized was that there is this disconnect, right? And the disconnect is the transition of what I did in corporate and how I contributed to results and bottom lines. And how do I take that and show that now, not as a task, because we had a job description that had us do tasks, but how do I then position that in an authoritative way to show that I am influential enough to create that transformation just coming through me, as opposed to being part of a team that helped to create those transformations. And that's the disconnect. So that's what we're going to be helping you with at the 6. So it's all about positioning your expertise, packaging it for transformation, and then pricing it for profit.
Right.
So we're going to move from being service focused expertpreneurs, expertpreneurs is another word that I've coined, and it means that you make money with your mind, and expertpreneurs who are profit centered and not service focused. It does not mean that you're not of service. It just means that you got to make money in your business, right? So that you can then be of service at a higher level. So it's gonna be good. And then you got Nicole, who's gonna show you how to be emotionally intelligent and brilliant. She always says intelligence, but it's brilliance.
It's emotional. Be emotionally brilliant.
Yes. Because that's necessary when we're talking about sales. It's necessary when we're talking about having the conversations and understanding that this is not about you personally. This is about building the relationships, and also, you talk about it, Nicole.
It's like you said, it's taking that internal emotional intelligence, or being emotional or brilliant, is taking that internal piece of yourself and now demonstrating it externally. So that when you were talking about the 4 boxes and so forth, and the framework and so forth, there's a part that's that internal to help you with the external, which is that social awareness, that relationships. And they do say specifically in sales that the more you lean into your EQ, the higher rate of you closing business, closing the deal. And you need to understand that emotional intelligence is that foundation for you. You walk daily in your emotional intelligence. It's just totally up to you in regards to how you want to use it. And this is where I say, think about how you are showing up and the behavior that you are presenting, and how does it serve you? How is it serving you at home, at work, and in the community? And it may make you feel good for 5 minutes if you had an outburst, or, you said something you didn't want to say, and you have those regrets, but it may feel good for like 5 minutes, but then everything else crumbles. So if you're sitting here walking around wondering why, Your team doesn't respect you. Your team doesn't trust you. You're having arguments all the time at home. People are questioning you, questioning your credibility and so forth. You got to turn inward and see, how are you presenting yourself? What is the perception that other people have of you? Because like we said, perception is reality, right?
Let
And
me ask
so,
you this.
yeah.
Go ahead. Let me ask
No,
you
no,
this
no.
about emotional intelligence and internal and making decisions.
Mm,
So, you were just saying that emotional intelligence, like understanding internally and how we're
mhm.
showing up for other people and their
Right.
perception. But what made me just add, as you were speaking about that, I was
Yep.
like, but what about in terms of making decisions
Mhm.
as it relates to ourselves, right? And
Yes.
showing up for ourselves and
Yes.
putting ourselves in a position to be able to be in spaces
Mhm.
where people can perceive you.
Being into places. Well, one of the things I talk highly about is that trust factor. Emotional intelligence will help you not only gain trust, but one, most importantly, trust yourself. And so you have to do that internal work of that self leadership. So
Mhm.
you can trust yourself. People walk around here saying, "Oh, nobody trusts me," or "Do people trust me?" Well, I always ask, "Well, do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself first?" You trust yourself, you then will gain that, what I call decision velocity, to where now you can make decisions faster, sales and speaking about yourself. You can when you make those decisions faster and make them more efficiently. So when you are showing up in those spaces to where you are presenting yourself, your business, the perception that people have, you are now making decisions faster in regards to how you want to show up. Okay. You're making decisions faster in how you want to present yourself.
Mhm.
Also, too, when people are asking you questions, you are now answering with credibility. You trust yourself. You're answering faster. And though that's decision velocity, you are making the choice decision on now how to show up. And because you trust yourself, you're making
Yeah.
those decisions faster. Because the minute you hem and haw, the minute you don't look like you trust yourself, you don't look like you honor yourself, that you don't have that self leadership, the other person, they're going to sense it too. So when you're saying, "Hey, I want $30,000 for this," they're going to be like, "Yeah, no," because you're not coming across the way, the expectation that they have. Because when they see, they're like, "Oh, she's gonna come across bad," like you said, badassery. She's gonna come across bad, and then you don't, because you don't trust yourself. And when you don't trust yourself, your credibility, the way you come across, doesn't come across well. And so that can help you or not help you in regards to not getting the contracts, not getting the speaking business, and so forth. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Because what it made me think of is was going back to what you just said around the whole idea of trust,
Hmm.
and that when we're making decisions about our business, when we're making
Hmm.
decisions about how and where to invest and who to invest with,
Hmm.
that we have to trust our own instincts and our own judgment, and we have to trust that it's trust, and we have to bet on ourselves first,
Bet on
right?
ourselves. Give ourselves permission, because we're always looking for permission from everybody else. From everybody else. We're wanting trust from everybody else. And this is where I said, even myself, having to take the time to give myself permission to do and fill in the blank, trusting myself that I have the power and the excellence and the credibility and the expertise to do all that. And I noticed a change, that now when I do speak to clients and I do speak to potential clients, I come across now sounding, I even shock myself sometimes. I'm just, "Oh, did I just say that?" Because it's coming, like I said, that decision velocity. It just comes. You're not taking a minute to think about it. It just comes because you have that trust within and you're giving yourself permission. And I'm not looking now for that outward, "Can I charge this much?" Yes, I can charge this much.
That's
And
right.
if they say
And that
no,
comes from
I'm okay.
clarity. Yeah,
Yes.
and it comes right when you have
Yeah.
clarity,
Hmm.
um, clarity, I always say this, clarity precedes confidence.
Yes.
And so,
You're
what
right.
you're talking about is like confidently standing inside of the
Hmm.
power of who you are. And so
Yes.
that when you are having these conversations, when you're having a sales conversation, when you're going after a prospect, when when you can see or feel from them that they have some type of resistance or objection,
Objection.
that you
Yeah.
don't fall into it and lean into that, that you're
Hmm.
clear about your value, you're clear about the
Yeah.
transformation that you can provide. And so you can rise above the objection and be
Right.
able to help them to understand, like,
Hmm.
and have the emotional intelligence to not be so afraid that you
Hmm.
see it, you feel it, but you
Hmm.
like, I'm going over there. I'm running away over there. That you have the emotional brilliance to be able to
Yes.
say to them, hey, I sense some resistance from you when when I said this. Where's
Hmm.
that coming from? Or how can I help you? Let me help you work through that. Is there something that I said? Is there something that I did? So
Exactly.
that all of that really helps you.
Exactly. So, you're able to, you're not afraid of that. You have that clarity. I have to say I had a hard time dealing with some objections because years ago, because I was thinking, okay, maybe it's me, maybe it's the way I'm saying it. Again, I had to sit back and realize, why was I feeling it this way? And something you said earlier, having clarity in I how I serve, having clarity in my purpose, having clarity in what I did. And also too, Kelly, having clarity in my messaging. That
That's right.
messaging has been huge for me. And I always tell this story. I said, and I do it during my keynotes or my workshops. I said, my girlfriend Kelly, she says, why are you not saying you're an expert? And I was like, well, I don't know. And I went through that whole spill. And because to me, it's like, when you say expert, people think you know everything, and I don't know everything. And you were like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, you are an expert. So now I walk around saying I'm an EQ expert, I'm an emotional intelligence expert. Yes, I am.
Yes,
Also,
you are.
too, yes, in determining I'm an expert with determining your trust factor. Yes, I'm a leadership expert. And I'm using that word now, and now it just flows. But you know what? When I say it, it commands their attention. It commands their attention. And so, along with my body language, along with my words, I command that attention. I look like I know what I'm talking about, right? And
We
so
are
you've been
commanding
helpful.
premium fees over here.
Yes, and you've been helping me with that. That's one thing you have helped me with that. But yeah, that EQ, it's daily. And if you don't practice it every day. Now, have I lost my have I lost my shit? Yes, I
Yeah.
have. But you know what that made me do when I did lose it? I had to sit back and understand, what was that trigger? Why? Because it showed up twice in like
Mm.
2-week period. I had to realize what that trigger was. I had to do some of that internal work. I had to do some apologies to some folks because I unleashed. But they respect me even more now. But it's you have to sit back, and that's that emotional intelligence. That's that emotional maturity. Being able to sit back and look inward first, taking accountability in my business, taking accountability in my personal life. And that is EQ. That is showing up every day in your emotional intelligence. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
if you listen, see, I'm
Listen.
telling y'all, it's not what you
Listen.
see. Listen, it's not
No,
what you
it's real
see.
time.
It's
And
not
it's
what
in
you
real
Google.
time.
It's not what you chat GP and chat GBT and
Okay.
Claude over here.
That
That's not
part.
what you're going to get from Nicole. That
That
is
part.
not
You're
what
not
you're
going to
going to
get
get from
Google.
Nicole.
You
Yeah.
will not get Google. Google. I hear people hiring these EQ people, and they say they just sounded like Google. I do not
Yeah.
sound like Google. I sound like
That's right.
Nicole.
That's right.
Yes.
And so if you want to hear, she's told you what it is. Now you're going to learn, like, how. Well, Nicole, that's great. Now, how do I do these things? You got to come see her at the Speaking Industry Expo on the IQONIK Talk stage, March 16th through the 18th. You can get your ticket at speakingindustryexpo.com, XPO.com right now. Prices are going to increase on Sunday. They're going to increase on the 25th. So right now they're 50% off. So I would
I got
go.
something. I got something for you, Kelly. I got something for
Okay,
the.
go.
I got something for the listeners. Okay, so
Go.
if you come to Atlanta and you
Ooh.
tell the first 5 people that tell me they saw me and Kelly right now, you say you saw us. I first 5 people, I will give you either a free book, free workbook. You will get something free from me to help you along your journey. But it has to be the first 5 people. And you have to say, I saw you and Kelly talking live or the replay, and then just come up to me and I'll get you free book or free workbooks to help you along in your journey. I mean,
That is so good.
you gotta come talk to me though. You gotta come talk to me.
You gotta come talk to her. That's so good. I didn't even know she was doing
First
that.
5 people. First 5 people. Yeah.
Didn't even know she was doing that. So
Atlanta.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Listen, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. You will leave a changed person. My mission is to amplify, affirm, and elevate the voices of women experts so our value is not erased. This is the way that I know how to do that. I know that you have to be positioned. I know you have to be packaged, and I know you have to be priced right. Otherwise, you're gonna go out there and just be flailing, and y'all gonna keep undercharging and undervaluing. Yes, the system does it. Yes, we know there's systemic discrimination and racism and all the things,
We got
and the
all
man
that.
and all the things. However, what I need you to understand is that the call is coming from inside the house also. And that we, because we do not take the time to invest in our development, to invest in our positioning, to understand what it takes to really show up powerfully in these spaces, that we are also complicit in our own erasure. And so we've got to stop answering the call from inside the house the way that we have been doing it. And before we can shift anybody else, before we can get anybody else to treat us differently, we have to first treat ourselves differently. We have to show up differently. Listen, I've had conversations with decision makers, and I was commenting about, why I'm doing this. And they're like, yeah, because we're really not showing up. So I'm telling you right now, I left law, right? I was a trial attorney for over 2 decades. I was a partner in 2 law firms, and I came into this entrepreneurship. I call it the WWE, the wild world of entrepreneurship. And what I have watched and witnessed with Black women experts has really irked me from our perspective and from how we are treated. But I also know that we teach people how to treat us. And so, therefore, we have to come together, get our shit together, and then collectively show up in a way that people have no choice but to respect us or we walk away. Right. And so, right now, a lot of you are not in a place where you can just walk away because you don't have the clarity and therefore the confidence to know that not only are they undervaluing you, but you're undervaluing yourself. And so that's what we're going to be doing at the 6th. We're going to shift some mindsets. We're going to build our businesses. We're going to build our social capital. We're going to have a good time. We're going to party. We're going to just come into that space. It's Women's History Month. March is Women's History Month. So what better, time to do that? It'll be great weather in Atlanta during that time. It's easy to get to. The Atlanta airport, it's easy to get to. Some of y'all can drive, some of you fly. We have excellent room rates at the Atlanta Marriott Northeast. Everything is in one place. So you just come, get your stuff in your room, come down the elevator, go to the thing, go back. We're all going to be in that one place for those few days. And it's going to be amazing. So all you have to do is go to speakingindustryexpo.com to get your ticket. Go ahead, Nicole.
No excuses.
None.
No
And
excuses.
So you can't complain at the end of 2026, like, or on March 19th, when you see the pictures and the videos and everybody's saying, oh my God, you should have been here.
And somebody's saying, I got my $30,000, $50,000 speaking engagement. When you see us bragging about that stuff, we don't want to, I don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. So go to speakingindustryexpo.com. If you have any questions, let me know. If you are watching this and you are a business, like either a business that supports us in terms of like our processes and our actual business behind the scenes, right? Our systems, and you want to be a sponsor, hey, holler at me. If you are someone who is a lifestyle brand, we're talking about having 100 women who are highly credentialed, professional women who are very visible. They are out there in the world. They're on stages. They're in front of corporate decision makers. They're in front of employees. They're out there. So if you have a brand and we like makeup, we need our hair done, jewelry, clothing, anything that has to do with the life,
trinkets, all the
spas, whatever. If you're a lifestyle business and you want to be in the room and have access to these amazing women, again, curated, right, in this curated space, then holler at me too. Just drop sponsor or just reach out to me wherever on DMs. I'm always available to have a conversation. And I'm so excited, Nicole.
I'm
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 so
I'm
excited.
excited. I'm
It's gonna
ecstatic.
be here before we know it.
Whew.
And so yeah. So y'all come see Nicole. She's one of the 6 amazing women who will
Come
be
on.
on the stage at the IQONIK Talk stage. And it's all happening at the Speaking Industry Expo, aka the 6. So you hear us say the 6, that's what we're talking about. March 16th through the 18th, 2026, Women's History Month in Atlanta, Georgia. Be there, or we don't want to hear nothing else about it.
I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
All right, y'all. Until next time, take care.
Bye.